Now, President Obama gets a lot of grief about many different things, certainly his foreign policy. And I'm told over and over by the Republicans that, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing, he leads from behind, he's weak, he's ineffectual. So, for example, ISIS recently attacked the West in a couple of different ways. Obviously, we had the San Bernardino shooting, not connected to ISIS. ISIS didn't even take credit for it. But the people who did it said that they had some sort of allegiance towards ISIS, depending on however you want to count that. But ISIS didn't plan that attack. They did plan the Paris attack. Now over 130 people killed there. That was disastrous. So many more injured. And so maybe the Republicans are right. I mean, did he even get the guys who did the Paris attack? Well, it turns out the answer is yeah, we just killed them. So I'm sure that the Republicans are going to give Obama credit any second now. So let's go to U.S. Army Colonel Steve Warren. He explains, over the past month, we've killed 10 ISIL leadership figures with targeted airstrikes, including several external attack planners, some of whom are linked to the Paris attacks. Now, I take every Pentagon statement with a grain of salt. So that seems a little vague, but then he got specific in a second that I'll share with you. But the Republicans don't take it with a grain of salt. They say, commanders on the ground are always right. So here's a commander on the ground saying, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. He went on to say that others had designs on further attacking the West, and they were also taken out. Huffington Post further clarifies the Pentagon statement, saying one of those killed was Abdul Qadir Hakim, who facilitated the militants' external operations and had links to the Paris attack network, Warren said. That's that same Army colonel. Coalition airstrike on December 24th in Syria killed Charafi al-Muaddan, a Syria-based Islamic State member with a direct link to Abdulhamid Aboud, the suspected ringleader of the coordinated bombings and shootings in Paris on November 13th, which killed 130 people, Warren said. So, well, okay, we got him. So I'm sure that the Republicans are now going to have a press conference saying, man, it turns out, our bad. Obama's a really strong leader. We talked about how he wasn't bombing him. It turns out he dropped 9,000 bombs on him, and some of them killed leaders in the Paris attacks. Job well done. Mission accomplished. Way to go, Obama. Or can I just get a thanks? Oh, no. And no thanks on that. Interesting. Well, let's go to the case of Ebola. Another thing that President Obama was horribly criticized for. Oh, my God, weak, ineffectual. Oh, that's Ebola spreading like wildfire all across the world and in the United States. Now, to be fair, the first case of Ebola did come out on September 20th of 2014 in the U.S. And when was the last case where the patient was cleared to leave the hospital and we didn't have any Ebola after that? Well, that must have been many, many years later, right? No, it was on November 12th, 2014. So less than 2 months later, wiped out in the United States. Now, again, Huffington Post here explains, hysteria gripped the United States after the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention confirmed a case of Ebola in Dallas, but coverage soon slipped from newspaper front pages and cable news broadcasts. Oh, you know why? Because we actually solved the problem. And it's a big news event led by Fox News when there is a problem. Oh, it's Obama, it's Obama's fault, thanks Obama. And then when the government, led by President Obama, actually solves the problem, let's stop talking about that, okay? Everybody move along. And does CNN ever come back and go, oh, by the way, remember that 24/7 coverage we were doing on Ebola? Led by Fox News, we were led around like this, by Roger Ailes, because we're a bunch of morons. Did they come back and go, sorry, our bad, let's correct the record. The doctors in America did a wonderful job. The NIH in America did a wonderful job. The government in America did a wonderful job. President Obama did a wonderful job, and there is no Ebola in the United States anymore. No. Well, today there's more news. Turns out Ebola is pretty much wiped off the planet for now. Of course, you always have to be vigilant. But one of the last countries that had not yet freed itself of Ebola did so today. Guinea, one of the countries hit by the worst outbreak of Ebola, has been declared free of any cases of the deadly virus. By the way, who helped in that effort? International health agencies, some from the United Nations. Can I get a thank you? What other group wound up helping that, sometimes is maligned by not just the right but the left as well? The World Bank. So this is a big international effort to defeat Ebola, and the World Bank alone provided $250 million in financing to Guinea to combat the epidemic. That's just $250 million to one country. So, you know what wound up happening eventually is the world worked together, health organizations, doctors, scientists. Oh, and by the way, medical missionaries, Christian missionaries, were some of the bravest heroes in this fight. They go across the world to help people as well. And that, to me, is a true Christian who goes and helps the needy. In fact, one of them I made the Turk of the Year last year, so about a year ago today, obviously. And so all these people work together. It turns out, yes, world organizations do work. Yes, science works. Yes, medicine works. And yes, sometimes, perhaps even oftentimes, the government works. So can I get a thanks, Obama? Look, it's perfectly fair to point out the criticisms, and we do, of the Obama administration and the government. But you got to give credit where credit is due, and you have to be fair. And so, whether it's the Paris attacks or Ebola, I don't see any fairness in the U.S. media, and I don't see anyone giving the U.S. government, international organizations, or President Obama any credit. Well, as much as we've criticized him, we got to give him credit because he deserves it here.